Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. Now, the latest Hearthstone expansion, Journey to Un'Goro, has been released, and this is my first standard mode deck that I'm playing. It's Kolento's Elemental Shaman, and I've always enjoyed playing mid-range Shaman, and this is very much a mid-range style of play. Kind of reminds me of Dragon Priest in some ways, but yes, Elemental Shaman with a little bit of Jade synergy in this deck, but the Jade synergy is not something you're relying on. You're not relying on summoning golems, you're relying on elementals, and here they are. So to start off with, a bit of early game, Firefly, 2 copies of this card. The battle cry is pretty good, it adds another 1/2 elemental to your hand. Now, the 2 health is quite significant. It does mean that this card, this minion rather, trades into, 1 attack, 1 health minions that aggro classes tend to play. It kills patches, and it survives. That's pretty good. So it also gives you a cheap elemental into your hand, and that's going to be really important later, and you'll see why. The Hot Spring Guardian, only 1 copy in the deck. I'd argue for 2. It's a taunt, a high value taunt, because it can heal you for 3, really good against aggro, or heal a minion on the board for 3 health. Pretty decent. Igneous Elemental, adding 2 cheap 1/2 elementals to your hand. Again, really good because it will help to activate other elemental cards in your deck. More on that in just a bit. Tar Creeper, high value taunt. It's a 3-cost taunt, 5 health, but on your opponent's turn it has 3 attack, so a highly defensive card. Not good for attacking on your turn, but really good at playing defense. Fire Elemental, 2 copies in this deck. This is a card that's been in Shaman for the last couple of years. You know, you see it weaving in and out of Shaman. It's now finally got the Elemental designation, and that 3 burst damage is really quite good. So, yeah, good turn 6 play. And then, of course, Alakir, the Windlord, really good with Flame Tongue Totem to do 10 to the face to finish off your opponent. Right, so let's move on now and let's have a look at some of the more critical cards in the deck, your mid to late game. Now, these cards, apart from Aya, rely on an elemental having been played on the previous turn. So Tolvar's Stone Shaper, if you played an elemental on the previous turn, gain Taunt and Divine Shield. I think there's super value in this card. It's a 3/5, it's hard to remove, it's hard to deal with. Servant of Kalimos, probably my favourite card in the whole deck, because if you played an elemental on the previous turn, discover an elemental. Now, you can discover all sorts of things. You can discover Kalimos, you can discover Blazecaller, Stone Sentinel, you can discover another Servant of Kalimos. It's really good, and my favourite card in the deck. So 2 copies of that. Stone Sentinel, it gives you some taunts, okay, which are pretty good, because these taunts, well, they protect you from aggressive classes, but they also widen out your board. So you end up with a 4/4 and 2 2/3 minions. That's pretty decent. Blazecaller, some people are calling this the new Dr. Boom, the new Dr. 7. It's a 7-cost 6/6, and if you played an elemental on the previous turn, deal 5 damage. That's 5 damage to an enemy minion, so it can clear something big from the board. It's 5 damage to the enemy's face. Pretty good card. And then finally, we've got Aya Blackpaw. Now, there is a little bit of Jade synergy in this deck. Aya is in the deck for the body. She's a reasonably good 6-cost minion. If you've already played a couple of Jade cards on the Battle Cry, you may get a 3/3 or maybe a 4/4, and then on Death Rattle, you get another Jade Golem, which could be a 4/4 or a 5/5. So, Aya, good turn 6 play. So those are I guess, our critical cards, our big heavy hitters in this deck. Beyond that, we've got some utility cards. The Golika Crawler is in the deck. There's only one copy, designed to deal with pirates, and if you're in a meta where there aren't many pirates, you can just take it out. Jade Claws, 2 copies. Really good early game card to deal with early minions that are played by your opponent. It has the bonus of giving you a golem. Maelstrom Portal, Jade Lightning for clearing things from the board. Double Hex to deal with big threats. And of course, Flame Tongue Totem, which synergizes very well with your totems around it, you know, to trade into minions, and synergizes well with any golems that are summoned onto the board, allowing for effective trading. So these are your utility cards. We're not relying on Jade Golems here. Instead, we're using Jade cards that have good utility, that help to clear things from the board, that help to allow for efficient trading. So that's the focus here. Now, the most important card in this deck, in my opinion, is Kalimos, Primal Lord. Now, if you've played an Elemental on the last turn, so notice that common theme here, cast Elemental Invocation, and these are your 4 options. My favourite one of the 4 is Invocation of Air, dealing 3 damage to enemy minions. So what do you get for 8 mana? You get a 7/7 big body on the board that is hopefully hard to deal with, and you could get a board clear just for your, you know, damaging the enemy minions, and that's really critical here. So Kalimos, really good utility, but he can also deal damage to the enemy hero, or he could heal your hero for 12. That's massive, okay? That is absolutely massive. Or Invocation of Earth, fill the board with 1/1s. You can get board presence. Kalimos, Primal Lord, the ultimate utility card in this deck, and really good too. So let's have a look at our first game.
Victory or death for Doomhammer.
Okay, we're going up against a warrior. Now, the question is, we're dumping all of that, obviously. The question is, what kind of a warrior is it? Is it pirates or is it taunt warrior? That's the question. So we've got a 1-drop, and we can coin out a 3-drop. So we've got a bit of an early curve going. Okay, it's the Taunt Warrior. So he's going to play 7 Taunt minions. That's what he's going to look to do to complete his quest. Now, what's really important with this mid-range deck is that you curve out. That's pretty much the lesson to be learned with any mid-range deck. You need to curve out. And by adding these cheap minions, these cheap elementals to our hand, it's increasing our chances of curving out. Now, you'll see that some of our cards are sparkling. And that's important. That means that they are active, if they can be played for the mana cost. So this sparkling effect is something you do want to look out for. So next turn, we can either coin out the 4-drop, or we can play the 3-drop on curve. Acolyte of Pain, so the Taunt Warrior is looking to draw cards here, and he's going to try and take advantage of my board state. So I'm going to play my Taunt, my Tar Creeper. Now notice what happens. After we end the turn, we go to his turn. The Tar Creeper gets 3 attack, blocking that Acolyte of Pain. And he could trade in if he wanted. He could trade in, but he'd lose his Acolyte. I think this Taunt Warrior really wants value, trading into my low attack minions. Anyway, what do we do here? Do we consider hexing that to deny card draw? How does he win the game? He wins the game by playing all of his taunts. And to play his taunts, he needs to draw cards. But no, we're not going to hex that. There are going to be big threats that we'll need to hex as the game progresses. So what we'll do is we'll just block his way. We've got 2 taunts in play, both with 3 attack. Both are blocking the Acolyte.
Sharp gadget land steel.
Okay, Ali Armor Smith is a hex target, potentially. We could start trading, but would give him so much armor, and we don't want to give him that armor, right? We're going to kill that while we can. Okay, so now we have a board that is nearly full. And one thing that we're absolutely conscious of is Brawl. Okay, so Taunt Warrior will run 2 copies of Brawl usually.
None shall pass.
Okay, or they'll run the Black Knight. Wow, okay, when's the last time you've seen the Black Knight see significant play? That's pretty interesting. Okay, hoping for the Spell Power Totem, which we don't get. So we need to do Jade Lightning and a trade here. That's fine. I still have the board, right? Now, we're not doing much damage here, and sometimes this deck can be a little slow to get started in terms of doing damage. As you can see, there's only 4 attack on board. My Tar Creeper only doing 1 attack on my turn. So it feels like there's a bit of ramping up in this deck as you ramp up into your higher value elemental minions that do a bit more damage. And that takes a bit of time. Do we hex that? It's got an annoying death rattle, right? Do we just hex it, or no? We just break through, right? We'll save the hex. We're trading in the cheap minions here, playing around AoE effects, I guess.
Ash to ash.
Okay, here's a 1-1 on board. That's cool. Healing Totem here is really significant. Especially as I start playing bigger minions that can trade in and then benefit from being healed. We've got to keep an eye on the quest. 2 out of 7. Interesting. He's taking this quite slowly. Wow, that was really good value for him. Primordial Drake. And we can't kill it easily. 3, 4, 5. No, we can't. So we need to hex it. So we could play this Taunt, heal up the Tar Creeper, and that's pretty good. So we're building a wall. We're building a wall here, a wall of taunts. Bit like Donald Trump, right? Building a wall. And if we have our way next turn...
This jungle hides many.
Ooh, Elise, the Trailblazer. Wow, he's going for value with that pack. Interesting. Yeah, if we have our way next turn, we're going to be playing more taunts. Okay, sure. Oh, Servant of Kalimos. Ooh, that's very tempting. I think we're going to play that instead, right? Or do we play Kalimos? Or do we play our 7-drop? Choices. Hey, it's good to have choices sometimes.
Brothers, heed my call.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We get Kalimos or the Stone Sentinel. I think we take the Sentinel, right? Just for the taunt value. Although Kalimos is very tempting. We could play Kalimos into another Kalimos on the following turn.
I wonder.
What gives us better board presence? I think the Stone Sentinel is fine. I mean, when you add up the stats for the Stone Sentinel for the 3 minions, it's sort of very similar to Kalimos, but you're going wide on the board, right? You're spreading your damage and your defense across 3 minions rather than 1. I think that's quite an important consideration. He's only played 3 out of 7, so we're feeling safe. 4 out of 7, okay. Whirlwind. Well, that clears 2 things. Okay. So, Fiery Winax making an appearance late into this game. But you see, here's the thing. I'm well aware of the fact that he will soon complete his quest. Ooh, nice trade. But, look at my hand. Look at my hand. And we can just chill. So, he's got to break through this. Okay, Ali Armorsmith, 5 out of 7. He's getting close. He's getting very close. Oh, another War Axe. Wow, okay. There's Dr. 7. Blaze Caller. I think we play it.
Flames consume you.
Which one do we target? Are we playing that this turn? We're playing Kalimos instead? I think we play Kalimos. Because what we can do is we can do 3 damage AoE, which removes the Blood and Trade, and we just get a direct trade. That's pretty good. That means that we don't have to face tank anything. I think that was quite efficient. Yeah. Well, we can play the Blaze Caller next turn, because Kalimos is an elemental, so he's going to activate these other cards in my hand. There's Brawl number 1. Oh, hello. Kalimos surviving there. What luck. See, I usually don't get any luck with Brawls. I usually lose out. Either their minion survives or my worst minion survives. That was pretty lucky. And now we're building our wall. Got a wall of taunts in play, protecting Kalimos and protecting that 4/4. Oh, come on. Brawl number 2. Wow. So this dude, 2 fiery War Axes in a row, 2 Brawls in a row, and oh dear lord, the healing totem survives. Yep, I'm back to my usual Brawl luck. My terrible Brawl luck. That is bloody unfortunate. But 2 Brawls are gone.
Well,
And now I'm thinking, what else does he have that can do a mass board clear?
now.
There's Aya.
Golems are a girl's best friend.
May as well play her and just start to get the golems going. It's a 3/3 golem. That's pretty decent. When Aya dies, we get a 4/4, and we've filled the board again. How does he deal with it? Presumably, he'll put down another taunt to get his quest completed. We'll see. We've still got the Blaze Caller in hand. 5 out of 7. Okay, so he needs 2 more. 2 more taunts. Can he fit them in on this turn? Tanking Eye is interesting there. He's just taken 5 to the face. Tar Creeper? Okay. Now, what's interesting here is you look at this board and you just think to yourself, if only we had Bloodlust in this deck. Can you imagine what that would do? That'd be crazy. So maybe it's a consideration to be included. There's Alakir. Do we have any kind of lethal here? I don't think we do. So we're just gonna play stuff and go face. Wait, did we have some kind of lethal with Alakir?
Elements guide me.
No. No, we didn't, did we? No. Okay.
Well,
We can keep the Jade Army going. Yeah. And he's realised too much. His deck was too slow in the end. We were able to outvalue him on the board. And, yeah. That's a pretty sweet win against Taunt Warrior. On reflection, am I happy with the cards that were picked for this deck by Kolento? Yeah, they've worked out. We had elemental synergy, and yeah, we were essentially able to outlast him and deal with his threats. So let's just take a quick look at the cards that I still had left to play in my deck. You see, even if there was more ways of clearing the board, you know, we still have Stone Sentinel, Blaze Caller, Double Fire Elemental, Servant of Kalimos to discover another elemental. we still had significant threats, and let's not forget Flametongue Totem was still in the deck. 2 copies of it to partner up with those cheap elementals, or to partner up with my totems, and then to get efficient trades. So still lots of threats left in this deck, and we took that warrior to the limit. We exhausted his threats and beat him. That's pretty good. Okay, let's have a look at another game. Now, this next game is going to be interesting. It's against a rogue, and the assumption that you make at this point in the meta is that it's going to be questing rogue, which means that eventually they are going to be looking to play to play the minions for their quest. Yeah, caverns below, and then to get an army of 5/5 minions on the board. That's what they're looking to do. So for the time being, that doesn't change our strategy. We just keep going with on-curve plays. And I can coin out the Igneous Elemental here. There's no reason to play Jade Claws, because we're not going to attack into anything. I'd rather have the 2/3 on board rather than having the weapon equipped.
Let's show our guests.
Morose? Oh boy. Do you know, when Morose first came out, everyone dissed the card and said, oh, it's useless, it's terrible, it dies to AoE. Well, yeah, it's going to die in a minute to my Maelstrom Portal. But this card is actually perfect for questing rogue. If Morose ever does stick on the board, those 1/1s become 5/5s. Oh, come on. Tentacle of N'Zoth, really? Really? Dealing damage to my board, really? Is that the one drop you want to really give me?
I hope you like my
Wow, my RNG. With this game, it's very much give and take with RNG. Something goes right, you know, I play Maelstrom Portal, deal with Morose, and then something goes wrong. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. He hits with the face. Yeah, Tentacle of N'Zoth is going to be really annoying. We need to get rid of it. So we need to trade. We'll trade both of them. Get rid of the Tentacle. Sadly, it damages my minion there, which puts it in range of his hero power. That's really annoying, actually. But it's fine. And we've got options in the hand. We're just really scared of his quest being completed. And against questing rogue, I think the general advice is you've got to pressure them. Because if you don't pressure them, they're going to pressure you with a board full of 5/5s. And oh boy, he's getting ever closer to making that a reality. Violet Teacher there, really good card. I think we have to kill it. Yeah. Okay, Jade Claws will actually do some work now. How do we want to go about doing this? Trade our face, trade a minion again, yeah, and play stuff. Why am I trading with the 1/1s? I'm trading with the 1/1s is because with this questing rogue, you cannot allow them to have minions on board, because if you do and they complete the quest, they become 5/5s. Oh wow, fan of knives, the value. Okay, I'm getting a bit scared now. So Tar Creeper, hero power, or minions? Minions is better, right? Minions is better because we get to play 2 of them rather than 1 totem, and we can use those cheap elementals there with the Flametongue Totem to get some good trades, because I have a strong feeling that that quest is about to be completed. Yep, caverns below, and he gets the Crystal Core. So Crystal Core now is going to buff his board. Is it? No. Hex? He got Hex from Swashbuckler, really? Okay. Let's build a wall. 4 taunts on board. Get through that. Debating there whether I should have traded with the 1-2 rather than with the Tar Creeper. Does it matter? It's put it in range of Eviscerate, I guess. Okay, here they come. Now, Stone Tusk Boar. Who'd have thought you'd ever see that card played competitively on the standard mode ladder, honestly? It goes to prove that you should never dust anything, right? Because you never know when those cards are going to come in handy again. So, okay, here we just use the Fire Ele. Fire Elemental really good in this context. Right, so essentially this is a battle for the board now. It's going to be a battle of his 5/5s versus my elementals. Oh dear lord, Mimic Pod. So he gets a copy. What did he get? Ferryman. Manatide? Wow, this dude got Hex and Manatide Totem from Swashbuckler. He got two of the best cards in Shaman's arsenal. That's insane. So we can play Aya here. Aya just gives us a bit of board presence, right? That's pretty good. And I guess, you know, we can try and take down some of his minions and... Okay.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Bloody hell, the Manatide Totem became a frog that had 5 attack. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. That was I'm upset with myself. That was a very bad misplay on my part. Yeah. Bad misplay. I essentially wasted a Hex there, right? Hex in this matchup is actually useless once they play the Crystal Core, so yeah. Okay, we're a bit scared now. We're a bit scared. Taunt Totem is really good. And I'm actually going to burst his face. And trade. I have to trade, right? Yeah. Okay, just play stuff and hope. We've got our 7-drop, which is really going to help us. 9 cents. Let's calculate for 5.
Drink with me,
okay. We can kill 155. We can kill 155, and we can play our 7-drop. That should be enough to seal the deal in this game. Oh, Jade Lightning, hello. Yeah, it's over. Just like that. Good game. Good game. So, we managed to beat the questing rogue, streaking into rank 11. Wow. Okay, so let's pretend that the game went on for a little bit longer. Let's just have a quick look at some of the cards that we still had left in our deck. We still had a Hot Spring Guardian for a bit of a taunt. We had a Tar Creeper, another taunt. Jade Lightning, the Tolval Stone Shaper, another taunt. Servant of Kalimos, Blaze Caller, my 2 best cards. And Kalimos didn't see any play in this particular game. So my 3 best cards, in my opinion: Servant of Kalimos, Blaze Caller, Kalimos himself, the Primal Lord, didn't see any play. So we still had significant and substantial threats left to play in our deck. We still had a way of clearing minions with Jade Lightning. We had Flame Tongue Totem left, 1 copy of. So yeah, this deck could have carried on if needed.
Versus Anduin. The light shall bring victory.
Okay, I want to look at one final game. This is against a friend of mine. He's a follower on my YouTube channel, and he's a friend of mine in-game, NightRaven here. This was a friendly challenge for the 80 gold quest. And I thought, It'd be pretty cool to look at this deck in action against NightRaven's Priest. So, let's see what he's got. He's got a Northshire Cleric. Okay, that's a really good play. You know, I have this 1/2 on board that's susceptible to being traded into, and then the Cleric gets healed. So Taunt Totem there, I guess, is a nice little block. It means that he can't damage the Cleric, but he can damage my Taunt Totem, and he can heal it to draw a card. What kind of a priest is this, is the question that you need to ask yourself. Priest had some interesting cards. Okay, so Thought Steal. Interesting. I can't kill that. So I think I have to hex it. I know that seems like a massive waste, but we can't allow a priest to keep drawing, right?
Ash to ash.
He got Igneous Elemental from Thought Steal. That's interesting. Okay. Alright, we just play stuff. And see what happens. I have Servant of Kalimos that I can play next turn. I have a curve. Look at my curve. 5, 6, and 7. Oh my god, he stole that too?
Brothers, heed my call.
Ooh, those aren't good. I think we have to take the Frozen Crusher. But look at that. After it attacks, it freezes itself. That's so silly. Yeah, anyway. The Priest is playing Elementals against me, and that's pretty interesting. It's making this quite a fun game.
What is real?
Mirage Caller. Summon a copy. Wow, he's going to go all out with Elementals. This is really interesting. So this Priest deck type is essentially becoming another deck. It's becoming an Elemental deck. Interesting. Now gets more Elementals back to hand. Interesting.
Hand is too full.
Discarding Power Word Shield is not a big deal. So,
Not quite what
yeah, not quite what's planned. What have I got next turn? I can play a Frozen Crusher. Ooh, Shadow Word Death. Okay, I'll take that. On the Fire Rally. Fire Rally did some work. Did his job. I'll take that. So I could play a Frozen Crusher. I could play a Stone Sentinel on curve. Or I could play a Blaze Caller. I like the Sentinel here. And our cards are crackling. Ooh, Servant of Kalimos though. And I can play Flame Tongue, but no. This is absolutely fine. So we've got taunts in the way. He has to break his way through the taunts. Healing Totem is incredibly relevant here. Incredibly relevant. Mind Vision. Wow. Wow. Servant of Kalimos from Mind Vision. Oh no. He's just discovered an elemental. Oh wow. This is really interesting. So, what do I do here? What does the Tolvar minion do? I mean, I don't know. Don't think it does very much. Flame Tongue Totem here is going to allow for some trading to occur. The question is, what do I want to trade? Do I want to protect my 6/4 or the 4/3 here? I'm actually tempted to trade in the 4/3 and the Healing Totem. Was that the most efficient way of getting through? Probably not.
When Earth moves,
Okay, that's actually pretty decent next to the Flame Tongue totem. That's actually pretty decent next to the Flame Tongue. It does 5 damage now. Yeah, 12 Stone Shaper. Divine Shield. Yeah, that's decent. Next turn, what can we do? Play a Tar Creeper. We can play the Frozen Crusher. 9 mana. And in this deck, there isn't much in the way of overload. Yeah, there's Jade Claws, for example, but unlike your previous incarnations of Shaman, there isn't much in the way of overload. So, perhaps slightly easier to plan out your turns. Free from Amber? Ooh, that's interesting.
so delicious.
Oh, that's a bit awkward. It's a bit awkward.
It's incredible.
Yeah, 7 health. Do I have any kind of lethal? Alakir is 10, 15, 21. We don't have any kind of lethal here, do we, right? So, I think playing the 6 mana 8/8 is decent. We Maelstrom Portal. I should have Portal first. And I'm actually trading that. Why? Because it was injured. And it was in range of AoE, Excavated Evil, for example. So I value keeping my 5/5, which is healthy, on the board.
Behold the glory of a true son.
Oh wow, Lyra. This has just got interesting. How much value is he going to get from Lyra here? That's a really cool entrance effect, by the way, with Lyra. Shadow Visions. Wow. This Priest deck looks like a really fun deck to play. You know, he's played elemental cards that he's stolen from me. And then he plays Lyra. That's really cool. Need to think about lethal, obviously. Let's see. We don't have it. We're not anywhere close to lethal. We have to kill his legendary. It has to go. So, I think Blaze Caller is the play. And I think we just play stuff. I'm not familiar with the Priest deck, so I don't know what kind of AoEs there are in Priest. You know, is there anything I should be looking out for here? Should I be overcommitting? I don't know. But it should now be over, because, yes, our 8/8 is frozen, but we have a substantial board in play. Servant of Kalimos is waiting. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Bran, Bronzebeard, Servant of Kalimos? Oh, be incredible, wouldn't it? Okay, that was created by Shadow Visions. Oh, that's a pretty good card to get from Shadow Visions there, yeah. Very, very timely. And I think the Priest is still alive. NightRaven is still alive here. Because on board, there's only 9. Well, he thinks he's still alive. Because on board, he can only see 9 damage. The 8/8 is frozen. Ooh, the healing! The value! Wow! So staying alive here. What have we got? 7... What is that? 6... 13... 14, 15... It's not lethal. So, let's discover. We'll take the Fire Ellie. Wait a second. Was that the right pick? Yeah, it was the right pick. I picked that very quickly.
Feel the burn.
Feel the burn. Yeah, feel the burn. Do we want to play that? No, we don't. And we're not going to play a totem either, because we want to leave room on the board to play Alakir or the Fire Elemental. If there's like some way of our board getting frozen, for example. Alakir would give us lethal with Jade Claws. Hot Spring Guardian! Wow! Taken from my deck. Oh my god, it had charge! That's pretty insane, right? That's pretty insane. But it's over, right? There's nothing else that can be done here. So in the end, the Elementals... Well, we had a good curve, right?
Taunt is in the way.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, freeze yourself. What a silly minion that is, that 8/8. Okay, so there we go. Pretty cool game there. And just want to highlight once again some of the cards that were played from both sides. Apologise if this is hard for you to read on whatever screen you're using, whether it's your PC, a laptop, or a phone, or a tablet. My deck on the right hand side still had a number of options left to play. We still had a Blaze Caller, we still had Kalimos, for example, so there was still some big threats left. NightRaven, looking at his deck, looks like a really fascinating deck with Lyra, and I spoke to him after the game, and I asked him if I could show this game in the video, because I thought it was a really interesting game, and I think his priest deck was fascinating, really creative, really fun, and he was talking about a big combo in his deck, and if he gets his combo, his deck is unbeatable. So I've invited NightRaven to comment on this video in the comments section, just to explain a little bit about how his priest deck works, and maybe he'd be kind enough to provide a deck list as well. I'm sure that all of the viewers would appreciate that. Right, well, thank you very much everyone for joining me. This video has been an awful lot of fun. I love Shaman, I really do. It's one of my favourite decks to play, classes to play in Hearthstone, and this Elemental Shaman is so much fun. Now, undoubtedly, this version of Shaman will see some refinement over the next couple of weeks. So it'll change up, and there are different versions of the deck, obviously, but I enjoyed playing this, and I'm going to continue playing it. I do need to consider the Golika Crawler, whether it's really essential in the deck. I mean, even if you face off against pirates, are you likely to draw into it? Would the Golika Crawler be better? Well, would it be better to replace it with something like a second copy of Maelstrom Portal, or even a Lightning Storm, or a second copy of the Hot Spring Guardian? The Hot Spring Guardian is one of my favourite cards, just because of the healing and the taunt effect. I think that's pretty good. So thanks very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe. I'd be incredibly grateful. And I'll see you all again very soon for more Hearthstone action.